Welcome to the May 11th Assembly Appropriations Committee hearing. Noting that at current absence of a quorum, we're going to begin as a subcommittee. We're going to, at some point, when they show up, have two alternates today. Assemblymember McCarty is covering for Mr. Daly today, and Assemblymember Chow is covering for Mr. Hernandez this morning. So with that, we'll go ahead and start with Mr. Gordon.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm going to waive on the bills that are on the suspense file and present only on AB 2594.
Of which you have a due pass recommendation.
Thank you. Improved stormwater capture is one of the most important sources of new water that California must harness to diversify our water portfolio and increase overall supply in our drier future. AB 2594 would provide legal clarity to public entities about how they may use captured stormwater instead of releasing it into the ocean. According to the committee analysis, any additional state costs are absorbable within the State Water Resources Control Board's existing resources. I respectfully ask for an aye vote.
Yeah, there's. I will relay that once we're in full committee. Are there speakers in support?
Sylvia Solisha on behalf of the City of Santa Monica in strong support.
Thank you. Additional speakers in support? Speakers in opposition? Department of Finance?
Hi, Madam Chair. Brendan Murphy, Department of Finance. The Department of Finance actually has no position on this bill, as there are still several details to be worked out. Further discussion will be necessary to determine mechanisms in which public entities will be allowed to use captured stormwater, and also define limitations and restrictions on how the water can be used. Overall, the State Water Resources Control Board indicates there will not be any cost impact associated with the bill.
Great, thank you. Would you like to close?
Respectfully ask for an aye vote.
Thank you. We'll go ahead and bring up Dr. Weber.
I'm here today to present to you AB 1761, Human Trafficking Victims Affirmative Defense. Currently, human trafficking victims are often treated as criminals with respect to the crimes that traffickers force them to commit. AB 1761 creates a defense for human trafficking victims to use against a charge of a nonviolent crime. This affirmative defense is not a get-out-of-jail-free card. It has to be proven by the defense in the court of law that the victim indeed committed the crime because of, 1, they were victims of human trafficking at the time of the offense, they were coerced, and 3, they had a reasonable fear of harm. This bill has really no cost to the state and has some potential savings to counties for reduced incarceration if the defendant prevails in misdemeanor or non-serious felony charges. I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Are there any speakers in support?
Good morning, Madam Chair and members. Tracy Stevens on behalf of the Jewish Public Affairs Committee in strong support.
Additional speakers in support? Speakers in opposition?
Good morning, Madam Chair. Sean Hoffman with the California District Attorneys Association. We're opposed on policy grounds, but we're working with the author. Hopefully can resolve those.
Are there any questions? Department of Finance, I'm sorry.
Sorry, no file, Madam Chair.
Questions? All right, Dr. Weber, you'd like to close?
Yes, the members, I respectfully ask for your aye vote for 1761.
And we'll take that vote up once we're in full committee. Jones? All right, I'm hoping we get some members down here to present. In absence of seeing any, I'll go ahead and present mine.
Good morning, Madam Chairman. You have AB 2025 and you also have AB 1978. I assume you're going to not present on your suspense bill, but present on AB 2025.
I think 1978 might be on consent.
Oh, that's right. forgot about your consent.
I didn't know if you're trying to move it to suspense. So,
no, I said 1978. That's your suspension.
Well, whatever. Yes, I'm going to.
1708.
I'm
your
only
consent.
going to present on 2025.
Good job.
Good morning, Vice Chair, Mr. Vice Chair, and members. AB 2025 will amend the Barbering and Cosmetology Act to improve language access and education about labor law for salon business owners and licensed workers. After a two-part New York Times series on nail salons was published last spring, we chaired an informational hearing on labor and health issues in nail salons here in California. One of the most widely agreed upon problems discussed at the hearing was lack of information and misinformation about worker rights in those salons. This is something we can easily address without putting a burden on good actors in the nail salon industry. California has many strong labor standards, but part of enforcing these laws is making sure workers know their rights and businesses are aware of their obligations. There are cultural and language barriers that contribute to the lack of information, misinformation, and a lack of reporting of these violations that take place. AB 2025 will increase knowledge of basic labor laws among owners by providing information, asking for responses, and requiring a signed acknowledgement during the license process. It'll also require that curriculum for all licensed professionals include workers' rights as a subject area. All written materials by the BBC be offered and made available in English, Spanish, and Vietnamese, and that the establishment application asks an optional question about written language preference. I'm proud to say that my co-author on this bill is Senator Janet Nguyen, and I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Thank you. Very good presentation. There's only 10. We're still waiting for one more. Is there any speakers in support of this bill? We don't have a quorum yet, but thank you for the thought. It was greatly appreciated. Any opposition to this bill? Department of Finance?
No file, Mr. Vice Chair.
Does any member have a question of the author? Seeing none? Thank you. Very good. We're still in a subcommittee waiting for one member. Ms. Brown? Ms. Brown, you have AB 2751.
Yes.
On suspense, a candidate.
Well.
Please present.
Madam Chair, Mr. Chair, and members. AB 2751 would authorize 2 new securities permitting exemptions under California's corporate securities law. These exemptions would allow farms, agricultural land trusts, and specified entities to raise up to $2 million per year for farm enterprises and renewable energy projects. The bill would also expand existing exemptions for nonprofit organizations to include debt securities. The sponsors in my office are working with the opponents of this bill to increase investor protections, and I will work with the Department of Business Oversight to reduce the projected cost of this bill. I will have my witness self-introduce.
Khalif Asagai, on behalf of the Sustainable Economies Law Center, the sponsor of this legislation. I think Assemblywoman Brown spoke adequately to the need for this bill and what this bill does. I'll just say that we're committed to addressing the cost concerns that were raised in the analysis, and look forward to working with this committee to get this bill off suspense. Thank you.
Additional speakers in support?
I'm sorry, this is my staff member from the district office.
Great.
Senator Garcia.
Any speakers in opposition? Department of Finance?
No file, Madam Chair.
Any questions? All right, thank you, Ms. Brown. That's moved to the suspense file. I see.
You want me to close, or that's it?
Oh, you can close if you'd like. I'm sorry. I thought we had quorum for a second there, but apparently Mr. Santiago went missing. Oh, if you hold for just one moment, we're going to try to establish quorum real quick.
Gonzalez.
Present.
Bigelow.
Present.
Bloom. Here. Bonilla. Bonta. Calderon. Chang. McCarty. Eggman. Gallagher. Garcia. Chow. Holden. Jones. Obanoti. Quirk. Santiago. Wagner. Weber. Wood.
Thank you. Ms. Brown, if you'd like to close.
AB 2751 is a modest step that will help small farm and renewable energy enterprises raise much-needed capital. I ask for your aye vote as this moves to suspense.
Thank you, and that does move to suspense. Since we have quorum, we're going to go ahead and if there is a motion on AB 2594 by Mr. Gordon, that recommendation was to pass. We have a motion by Mr. Wood and a second by Dr. Weber, and that gets out on a B roll call. And Obernolte voting aye. Thank you. If we can get a motion on AB 1761, Dr. Weber's do pass. We have a motion by Dr. Wood. Second by Ms. Bonilla. Thank you. And that gets out on an A roll call, with Bigelow voting no. AB 2025. We have a motion by Mr. Wood, a second by Mr. Obernolte. That gets out on an A roll call, with Mr. Jones not voting. Why, thank you, sir. That gets out on a roll call. Guilt works well with me. All right. It is time now for Mr. Frazier. Mr. Frazier, I assume that you are presenting on AB 2371, which enjoys a due pass with amendments. Those amendments establish an administering agency.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Madam Chair and members. AB 2371 will allow individuals to make a voluntary contribution in excess of their tax liability to the Special Olympics Fund. I accept the committee's amendments assigning the Department of Developmental Services as an administrating agency and capping administrative cost at 3%, along with the technical cleanup amendments. Contributions to the Special Olympics Fund shall be used to conduct activities of Special Olympics Northern California and Special Olympics Southern California. The Special Olympics provide athletic opportunities to 40,000 children and adults with intellectual thank you, I do need that. Disabilities throughout the state, instilling the confidence, self-esteem, and dignity they need to succeed in life. They also inspire people in their communities and elsewhere to open their hearts to a wider world of human talents and potential. AB 2371 will help the Special Olympics Northern and Southern California expand athletic opportunities for the numerous athletes that have been unable to participate due to limited resources. Testifying in support is Kevin Reeds, an athlete, my friend, Jonathan Sparks, representing the Special Olympics Northern California. Members, I have volunteered at the Games for the last 11 years and personally seen the benefits that this organization affords our developmentally disabled community. I respectfully ask for your aye vote, and here presenting is Kevin Reeds.
Speakers in support.
Yeah, my name is Dr. Kevin Reeds from the Special Olympics Northern California, and it's a pleasure to be here. The Special Olympics supports 49,000 individuals with intellectual disabilities in the state of California. One of the founding principles of our organization is that we don't charge our athletes or their families anything to train or compete. So these funds will make a big difference in our ability to reach additional people in the state of California who might benefit from participation in our program. Thank you very much.
My name is Jonathan Sparks, and I'm the athlete of the Special Olympics. I've been involved with Special Olympics since 1975 as an athlete and a volunteer. And I would say highlight that Special Olympics is one of the best organizations around for the handicapped. So I would ask you to please approve this bill. Thank you.
Thank you, Jonathan. Are there any other speakers in support? Speakers in opposition? Department of Finance.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The Department of Finance is opposed to this bill. In addition to the potential loss of revenue, the bill's there's nothing currently preventing California taxpayers from contributing directly to this cause if they so choose. Furthermore, it's not clear that a special preference should be given to the programs supported by this tax checkoff as compared to other programs. The Franchise Tax Board estimates that there will be approximately an $8,000 loss of revenue per year.
Any comments? All right, would you like to close, Mr. Frazier?
Respectfully ask your aye vote.
Thank you. That gets out on an A roll call.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And
Thank
members.
you.
Thank you very much.
We're all still in shock at that huge number that was stated. All right. Is Mr. Levine here, did I see? There we go. Mr. Levine, you're presenting on AB 1842. It enjoys a due pass recommendation.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. I would like to present on AB 1842 and then very briefly on 2348. I'm pleased to present AB 1842, which applies a surcharge penalties to civil violations of our water pollution laws that encourages polluters to clean up. This surcharge applies only when a court has determined civic liability for the pollution. Existing law already has similar penalties for administrative and criminal actions. As noted in the analysis, implementation costs associated with this bill are minor and absorbable. Here to testify in support of the bill is Sean Hoffman with the California District Attorneys Association.
Good morning, Madam Chair and members. Sean Hoffman of the California District Attorneys Association. We're the sponsors of AB 1842. As Mr. Levine said, this applies a penalty that's currently available in administrative and criminal actions to civil actions, kind of the middle action that we have. This allows us to negotiate dispositions that more appropriately reflect the scope of damage to state waterways. That penalty, again, is tied to the size of the violation after we account for mitigation. We ask for your support.
Thank you. Any other speakers in support? Speakers in opposition? Department of Finance.
Thank you, Madam Chair. According to the Department of Fish and Wildlife, this bill could provide some likely minor revenue to the Fish and Wildlife pollution account from civilly imposed penalties. The initial and long-term cost for implementation should be minimal and could be absorbed by current staff.
Thank you. Would you like to close, Mr. Levine?
I respectfully ask for an aye vote.
This bill gets out with the Republicans not voting, except Mr. Gallagher votes no and Mr. Obernolte votes yes.
Great, thank you. And Madam Chair, I appreciate that AB 2348 is a suspense candidate, so I'll keep this short. This bill allows the Department of Finance to guarantee the rate of return for CalPERS investments in California infrastructure projects. We simply cannot overinvest in California infrastructure. The need is so great. We would need to invest more than $835 billion over the next decade just to meet our water, transportation, and K-12 infrastructure needs alone. AB 2348 will help make those investments a reality. That is why the Coalition for Adequate School Housing and the Pacific Merchant Shipping Association supports this legislation. More than 82,000 California jobs are created for every $1 billion invested in California infrastructure. AB 2348 will also help create more of these jobs. That is why the State Building and Construction Trades Council is in support. Only 1/3 of 1/10 of 1% of CalPERS holdings are in California infrastructure. The analysis points out that 94% of CalPERS infrastructure investments are actually outside of California. For example, just last week, CalPERS announced an investment of more than $330 million in an Indiana toll road. This single investment in Indiana is more than 3 times the amount that CalPERS invests annually in the state of California. AB 2348 will make it more favorable for CalPERS to invest right here in our own state. It is estimated that 50 cents of every California infrastructure dollar is spent on interest that goes to banks. AB 2348 will spend that money here at CalPERS instead of on Wall Street. Thank you for your time, and I welcome an opportunity to continue to work on this bill as it moves forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Levine. Are there any speakers in support? Opposition? Department of Finance?
Thank you, Madam Chair. The fiscal impact to the state is difficult to quantify. This bill authorizes finance to evaluate and identify infrastructure projects that can guarantee a rate of return. However, the department does not currently have the staff and resources to do the work proposed in the bill. If the bill is approved, the department would be required to hire investment staff with commensurate experience and background to conduct the required work. For comparative purposes, CalPERS currently has an infrastructure program with approximately 11 staff at various classifications with an estimated cost of $1.5 million a year. Depending on the amount of work required by the bill, Finance estimates the associated cost to be between $1.5 and $3 million annually. This bill does not specify a funding source, therefore the general fund could potentially fund these costs. Thank you.
Thank you. That bill moves to suspense file.
Thank you so much, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Next, we have Mr. Patterson. He's going to present on AB 2146, which is also a suspense candidate.
Yeah, thank you, and to the chair and to members. I appreciate the opportunity to present AB 2146. We seek to provide much-needed funding in an amount of up to $200 million from cap and trade projects for thinning dense forests, for clearing underbrush, and removing dead trees in California's forests. Wildfires in California can, in the snap of a finger, undo much of the effort to reduce GHG emissions in California. We've all seen the damage of mega fires and the pollutants that they spew. The Rough Fire, the Rim Fire, the Angora Fire, they have emitted millions of metric tons of greenhouse gases. The Rim Fire resulted in over 11 million metric tons alone. California's forests are facing a crisis. The solutions, however, are labor-intensive and time-consuming, but with the kind of resources proposed here, we think that we can implement those kind of human activities that will reduce or eliminate some of these huge, explosive, and damaging fires. California is serious about addressing short-lived climate pollutions, the damage that they cost. Then we are submitting that the funds we are requesting will supply the necessary resources to achieve that very necessary goal. We think that there's a direct connection between spending the money that we are proposing and the purpose to which the funds have been allocated, and we hope that it can come off suspense, and ask your vote. Thank you.
Speakers in support.
Sylvia Solisha on behalf of the Board of Supervisors of Madera County. We believe this bill will help manage vegetation, reduce overgrowth, and prevent future catastrophic fires such as the Rim Fire. Thank you.
Madam Chair, Chris McKaylee on behalf of the Humboldt and Mendocino Redwood Companies in support.
Speakers in opposition. Department of Finance.
No file, Madam Chair.
Would you like to close?
Thank you very much. I was tempted to, as I presented this onto the suspense file, to play the theme from Jaws. But please, hopefully when it comes to suspense, lift the suspense and help us to do what we think is a very, very good thing for our forests. And appreciate the opportunity to present. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Patterson. Next, we have Mr. Williams, who will present on AB 1985. It enjoys a due pass recommendation.
Good morning, Madam Chair, members. I will present on 2313 and 1985. Don't mind. Do you have any preference on which to start with?
I don't. I actually didn't go to the next page.
Great. 2313 helps defray the cost for biomethane projects to interconnect to common carrier pipelines. In 2014, the PUC adopted a $40 million ratepayer-funded incentive program to help cover interconnection costs. But the incentive has a $1.5 million cap per project, which is too low for anyone to take advantage of it. The bill increases the cap from $1.5 to $3 million for an individual project and $5 million for a dairy cluster project.
Move the bill.
Second. We have a motion, a second.
I respectfully ask for your aye vote. With me today is Julia Levin of the Bioenergy Association, the bill's sponsor.
Good morning. Julia Levin with the Bioenergy Association of California. We urge the committee to support AB 2313 so that we can finally put California biogas into California pipelines. This will create 2 to 6 times as many jobs as fossil fuel gas. It will produce the lowest carbon transportation of any kind and help us to reduce air pollution from heavy-duty trucks running on diesel, which is the single largest source of air pollution in most air districts in California. So we urge the committee to pass this important bill.
Other speakers in support?
Madam Chair and members, Michael Pimentel here on behalf of the Solid Waste Association of North America in support.
Speakers in opposition? Department of Finance?
No file, Madam Chair.
Would you like to close?
Respectfully ask for your aye vote.
We have a motion by Ms. Eggman, a second by Mr. Quirk, and that gets out on a B roll call. Would you like to go ahead and present AB 1985? It also has a do pass recommendation.
Yes, members, this was on consent but has been pulled. It will require the California Community College Chancellor's Office to develop a uniform AP credit policy. Currently, AP exam credit and placement policies vary throughout community colleges. Most students are not even aware that each community college has differing AP credit policies, and their choice of community college can result in their student having to retake courses. Members, I would just submit that retaking courses is essentially contributing to the rising debt and the rising time to completion of students. We should help students move faster and cheaper through their higher education. With me today is Laura Parra on behalf of the College Board to answer any questions if you might have them.
There was a motion by Mr. Quirk, a second by Dr. Weber. Speakers in support?
Laura Parra here on behalf of the College Board, and I want to thank the author and the committee for their analysis and ask for your aye vote today.
Speakers in opposition? Department of Finance?
No file, Madam Chair.
Mr. Wagner?
Thank you. I pulled it. I can't quite get there, and I think I owe the author an explanation. I served on a college board, and while I understand the issue of rising time to completion and clearly the soaring debt that our college students are carrying are issues that I think really do need to be addressed, my experience tells me that the faculty at the individual institutions generally are the best folks, and the issue of academic freedom itself tells me that the faculty are perhaps the best folks to say whether a 3 on an AP, a 4 on an AP satisfies their particular requirements. And so I'm opposed to the universal standard, essentially, that is in this bill. That's why I pulled it. That's why I'm going to vote against it. And so I offer that as an explanation, and if you have a response, I guess I would be interested in hearing it.
Well, I think the tension between efficiency and individuality in community colleges is one of the fundamental tensions. I understand why people would be on either side of it. I would just submit to you that the UC has a uniform policy of accepting a 3. The CSU has a uniform policy of accepting a 3. Why there would be 40-something community colleges that require a 4 and 13 community colleges that require a 5 to get AP credit, I just feel like that is inappropriate and serves no function other than to force students who have already taken the course and demonstrated proficiency to have to retake the course, because of that individual college's wishes.
If I could, and maybe suggest why I think there's a distinction, and I know as Chair of Higher Ed you get this. The UC system is a single system with individual campuses. The CSU is a single system with individual campuses. The community colleges are structured differently. Each district is itself independent, and the needs in South Orange County, where I was on a board, versus Butte County or Yolo County are very different, and that's why we have not had sort of a single system throughout the state of California. I would be very interested and have advocated this for a while, that we have too many community colleges. Why are there 4, for example, in Orange County? Those could be consolidated, but there is still some virtue in diversity, and I think that goes a long way to saying why we treat, I think we should treat the community colleges different than the CSUs and UCs in this particular aspect. We can disagree on that one, that's all. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mr. Quirk, you have the floor.
So my concern here is that not all academic subjects are the same.
a 3 on calculus, where calculus is so important and fundamental to science. I question. I had a 3 myself on the calculus, and I retook the course and was very happy I did. A 3 on American history, where you're not a major, is, maybe something very different. So I'm concerned about I will vote for it now because it's a financial matter. There's no reason not to. But I think there is a big difference between a 3 on one subject that you might major on and a 3 on something else, and I don't think it should be automatic that it be counted to go forward, regardless of what the student thinks.
I think that's an understandable concern. I would submit to you that if you're going to continue on a course of study, it will become very obvious whether you can demonstrate that proficiency when you go to the next course section. Additionally, in the cases of the ones, at least in Orange County, the calculus and the science AP are not the ones that are required to be higher. It's world history that's required to be a 5. So I think we have some lack of consistency. I think a lot of the lack of consistency is due because their individual academic senates haven't looked at these issues in a long time. And we hope the bill, first of all, forces them to look at the issue, and hopefully they can fix it on their own, and if they can't, then the chancellor will have to.
Thank you very much.
Any other questions from any members? If not, you had a motion by Ms. Weber and a motion by Mr. Quirk and a second by Ms. Weber. You're out on a roll call with Mr. Wagner, a no vote.
Thank you.
Who's our next? Yes. Ms. Irwin, you're next.
I guess it's too late.
You have a suspense candidate here.
Yes, I do.